Hello there! For those who see me for the first time, my name is Sarah. I am a database designer and a web developer. Today is the day 26 of 30-day challenge of talking to the camera. And in this video, let's talk about what feels like archaeology these days, and that's browser compatibility. In case you are watching this on YouTube, you can find the rest of the videos of this challenge either on my website or on my PeerTube instance. Links to both are down below in the description. I've been meddling around web for the past 20 or so years, basically ever since I became a teenager. In that time, a lot has happened. Fall of Netscape, dominance of Internet Explorer, rise of Firefox, Chrome and Safari, demise of Internet Explorer, and Opera. The Opera one still makes me sad, to be honest. And also 1000 Chrome browsers, rapid development of CSS standard, and so on. So let's talk about browser compatibility. Being a front-end leaning developer, this has been a bit of an issue, basically since Firefox started shipping the user share away from Internet Explorer. There were some compatibility issues between Netscape and Internet Explorer, but that's first browser wars and I wasn't old enough to experience that, so I don't know much about that, so I will talk about what I know. Back in mid-2000s, Internet Explorer stopped innovating as Netscape lost those browser wars, and Microsoft chose to pour money into the development of something else than browser. Back then, when Mozilla was still a browser-oriented organization, they started to put time and money into developing at first the Mozilla Suite and later standalone Firefox browser. After that, Apple started to rework its web browser as well, and they used KHTML. KHTML was an engine that was used in browser that was built into KDE environment. That's a desktop manager for Linux. KHTML also became the engine for Chrome, but these days Safari's engine and Chrome's engine are two different engines which have same origin. As there were now several players in the browser competition, CSS, HTML and JavaScript specifications started to evolve faster as well. I will talk mainly about CSS, because that's my favorite part if that was not apparent enough. Since new features went into browsers before the specification was completely finished, browsers used to use vendor prefixes. That's the -moz or -webkit. These prefixes told browsers that a feature can be used, that they have implemented, but the feature is not yet ready for production or is not completely stable. And sometimes different prefixes had a different syntax. One of the examples can be Flexbox, because Flexbox was implemented in Chrome, Safari and Firefox in one syntax and in another in Internet Explorer. And at the moment we have a bit different syntax compared to those two. These days browsers tend to be compatible with each other in most of the cases. But there are still sharp edges where browsers are not compatible with each other. And there is a document which documents some incompatibilities. I will link to the document in the description below as well. And the document documents where exactly the browsers are not in the sync. Fortunately, that list is not that long these days, and when it comes to implementing new features, browsers tend to implement them around the same time. There are still places where browsers disagree with each other, for example, host context in CSS. Chrome has it implemented, but Safari and Firefox refuse to implement it. So these days, when it comes to development, developers should still check that everything works in all the browsers, but they don't have to write workarounds for every browser and every feature that they want to use, which is fortunate. But the developers don't always check that everything works in all browsers, and when something breaks, it's painful. But fortunately, it doesn't happen that often anymore. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!